Hello and welcome to Fearless DIY Music. My name is Tristan Lass, and today we're going to be talking about gain staging. This is a very, subjective topic. However, I think there are some basic rules and some basic things to have in your gain staging platform that will make it very satisfying and have a lot of flexibility. So I want to go through how I set up my gain stages on my pedal board before they hit my amplifier. And before we get started, today I'll be playing through my Acoustic Control Core 117 combo amp. It is a solid state amp, so the pedals are doing most of the heavy lifting for all of the distortion and tone that you're going to be hearing. Also, I'm playing my 2002 Epiphone Plus Top Les Paul. So let's go ahead and get started. There's nothing fancy here. These are low output humbuckers, PAF style, and let's get started. All right, so let's listen to my clean tone. I am on the bridge pickup. So there's a little bit of grit there, mainly because the humbuckers are pushing my amp just a little bit, but not much. And when I play single note stuff, it's very clean. All right, so the way that I start my gain staging is with a compressor pedal. Compressor of your choice, however you want to set it. I set my compressor pedals more like a boost pedal. However, there still is compression happening. I just engaged my compressor, and let's take a quick listen. And let's listen to it without it. Kind of muffed that last note there a little bit, that's okay. So the compressor's back on. And my compressor has a little bit of EQ in it as well, and a lot of compressors do. So what I find is that with the compressor, right away, you're getting a little boost in volume because I've got my volume, my level up a little bit. So I'm using it kind of like a clean boost. And it gives it a little bit more clarity, and that EQ section is working. So right there is where I begin. Now, is the compressor always on? No. I will put that on and toggle between my clean boost and it, depending on the situation. If I'm doing single note stuff and want a lot of sustain, I will then use the compressor to, kind of boost that way, rather than just using my clean boost. Speaking of clean boosts, let's go to that. So we start with the compressor, then into a clean boost. My clean boost is one I built. It is basically an MXR micro amp. So let's take a quick listen without it on. On. Now you hear with these humbuckers, we're almost into some mild overdrive right there. Let's take another listen here. So that's just with the clean boost on. Now let's put that compressor into the clean boost, and let's see if we can get a little bit more dirt with another part of the gain stage engaged. So right there, we haven't even hit a dirt box yet, and I've got my compressor boosting into my clean boost, and with these humbuckers, we're already entering into a pretty satisfying rhythm sound that we could use. All right, let's take both of those out of the equation and go to my mild overdrive pedal. This is one that I built. I have a whole build series on these pedals that I'll put in the link down below. But basically, it's an electric circuit, single transistor, dare I say, almost transparent overdrive kind of thing. I've got mine set on the mild setting. I do have a distortion, a higher gain section in this pedal, but I'm not going to have that engaged because I do have a high gain pedal here at the end of the board. All right, let's take a quick listen to just the mild overdrive. Go ahead and go up to the rhythm pickup for some soloing stuff. All right, we'll go back down to the bridge pickup. So right now we just have that mild overdrive. Let's hit it with the boost pedal and see what happens. So we're getting into some pretty good gain right there. So right now we just have the clean boost hitting a relatively mild overdrive pedal. Now let's turn the clean boost off and go to the compressor and see what it gives us. And when we go to our single note stuff, using the compressor instead of the clean boost should give us a lot of sustain. All right, let's use the clean boost and do something similar and see what the difference sounds like. And if you notice, there was a note in there that didn't quite hold as well as it did with the compressor. Now if we put the compressor, the clean boost, and the mild overdrive on, we should be able to get a really killer lead sound. And that's a really useful sound too if you really want to kind of get a lot of kind of clarity, good note definition, and good sustain. All right, so I've turned everything back off. Let's go to my dirt pedal. Like my, basically I've got a BBE 427. I'm using as my kind of dirtiest pedal, my just straight up distortion, and this is a Rat clone. Now let's take a listen to it on its own. We'll start on the bridge pickup. All right, and we'll keep it down on the, we'll just go ahead and keep it on the bridge pickup. All right, so let's listen to that first like chord progression I did with just the dirt pedal, and then we'll add in our compressor, and then we'll try it with just the clean boost, and then we'll try it by just turning everything on and see what kind of a mess we can make. All right. We got a lot of dirt there. Let's hit it with the compressor. And that'll go forever. What I notice is when I hit the compressor, I get a little bit more clarity, and I really kind of like how it colors the 427. I think it really works well. Now let's go to the clean boost going into the 427. And once again, now what we're getting into is we're getting into like a really saturated, you know, just a great distortion sound that would be, you know, you're moving into like, you know, a good punk sound. Let's see what it sounds like with some single note stuff. All right, so that's the boost into the dirt pedal. And now let's go ahead and take my mild distortion. We'll call it an overdrive versus a distortion. And let's put that into the distortion pedal and see if it's just unusable mess at that point. I think that sounds pretty good, actually, all things considered. Now, what if we just turn them all on for fun real quick here, see what kind of a mess we have. Listen to all that background noise. It's pretty nasty. I don't know about that. Anyway, so what are the takeaways from this? Gain staging is basically you want to have an order of pedals that are very usable working into one another. As you notice, I can toggle between either having my compressor driving my overdrive pedal, or I can have my clean boost driving my overdrive pedal, or I can have my compressor driving my clean boost. And right there, you have a huge array of gain stages, just in those three pedals alone. Then adding a straight up distortion style pedal, like a Rat or a DS1, or like, I'm using my Rat clone here. Then all of a sudden you have three things that can boost it either individually or in concert together. So basically, if you start doing the math, let me think about this real quick, and this is going to be impossible for me to come up with on the fly, but I'll try. So you've got one combination, you've got two, you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's just a huge variety of ways that those four pedals can hit each other and go through. And I tell you what I'm going to do right here on the screen. I'm going to put up the number of combinations you get with these four pedals as far as gain staging. And that's basically the way that I set up all of my pedal boards. I'm going to have a compressor going into a clean boost, going into an overdrive or mild distortion of some sort, and then just a straight up dirt box on the end. Of course, you could add additional pedals as you see fit, and if you really want to go out there and have complete flexibility, you can build yourself one of these. I call it a flip-flop pedal, but basically it reverses the order of two pedals plugged into it. So this switch right here just activates the pedal. This one right here will flip the order of the pedals. So if I had my clean boost going into this and my mild distortion, I could hit this switch and change it from going clean boost into distortion to distortion into clean boost. I am going to do a standalone video on this unit at some point and how to build one. They're super easy to make. You can look up the schematics online, but it's a pedal reverse order pedal. So it just reverses the order of the two pedals you plug into it. And that way, if you only have like 3 pedals that you're working with, you can actually use that flip-flop pedal to increase the number of permutations that you can have on your gain stage algorithm. So anyway, I hope that this has been helpful. And like I said, I'm not going to tell anybody exactly what to do, but the compressor to clean boost, to overdrive, to distortion, to me, it's the way that makes the most sense, and you can get the most good sounds that are usable from that particular pedal order before you hit your amp. And of course, if your amplifier has gain staging as well, you've got that on your board to channel switch, and then you've added yet another whole new, realm. You're doubling what you already have on your pedal board. All right, well, thank you so much for watching this video. If you've reached this point in the video, I'd appreciate a like and a subscribe. Also, leave something in the comments. Is there something that you do differently that you think is of value to everybody else who's watched the video? And share it. If you enjoyed it, please share it around, and we'll see you next time after you hit that subscribe button. You take care.